Catholic, a lot of standing around, Bob.
Townsend to body. Now Townsend drives. He's trapped. Now he's in trouble. Finds Loya. Got to be somebody open. Body with a medium range jump shot, and he knocks it down. 17-yard gain for Sheff on the reception from Vanderwall. Two men in the backfield, one split out wide. That's Manny Scott Anderson. He's got a hole right up the middle and makes a man miss. Splits two defenders. He's into the touchdown. That's 20-7. Elk Grove. 28 on the year. The team has 10 home runs. She has 7 of them.
That's their power in a 2-spot. Interesting.
Well, they wanted to put their 2 best hitters in the 2 and 4 spots, according to the. There's one that's driven high and deep, and that one's past the flagpole and gone. Make that number 8 on the year as Sutter jumps out to an early 2-0 lead. Couldn't ask for a pitch any better than that, Ben.
No, it's right down the pipe. You're right, Bob.
And coming down the straightaway here, number 431, and that's Catherine Loken from Del Campo. Didn't work out well.
Well, now they're bringing up a couple more players.
There's a long kick, and that's
that
in the back of the net.
Unbelievable.
Riley Davis caught one about knee high, took a whack at it, and buried it in the back right corner of the netting. Batted back across. Now that one's batted back across by Nastasha Bowman. There's a blast by Campbell. Saved, a fantastic save by Summer Nichols, her best play of the night. And then hammered home.
Time for some sports action right here on Fox 40. Bob Moffitt, what do you have for us today?
Opportunity is knocking, Tia, for the Giants and the A's. They're in the wild card hunt. They have spots right now if the season ended today, but they'd like to do a little bit better. The A's in Los Angeles, Anaheim to be precise, taking on the Angels. John Lester taking on Jared Weaver in SoCal. Lester acquired in the trade for Yoenis Cespedes. Haven't done very well since. Lester pitched well, though, enough to win on a team with any offense. Bottom of the third, man on, and Chris Iannetta gets a hold of one. Coco Crisp into the wall. He caught it, right? Tell me he caught it. I mean, look at the damage he took, the shot he takes, hits his head on the way down and his shoulder. Here's the replay. Ball's in the glove. Nicely done. And then, oh, no, it did not. Yes, it did. 2-0 Angels, and that's all Weaver would need. He pitched 7 innings, wriggled out of a bases-loaded jam, gets his 15th win. A's up. Now 4.5 over Detroit in the wild card race. Speaking of wild cards and struggling offense, the Giants hosting the Brew Crew from Milwaukee. Milwaukee leads the tight National League Central by a 1.5 games. Hunter Pence batted 5th in the lineup, went 3 for 4 with 3 ribbies. Not to be outdone, Buster Posey had 5 hits in 5 at-bats. Giants win 13-2. They stay a half game up in the wild card. 4 back of the Dodgers for the NL West. Dodgers lost in 12 innings. We'll have a full rundown of scores and high school football in the second half of the show. Second half of the season is when the San Francisco 49ers All-Pro Aldon Smith will return to the team. Found out today he will miss 9 games due to suspension. Number 99 seemingly has had as many brushes with the law in the last 2 seasons. The suspension for drunk driving and weapons charges. Niners have lost 2 starting linebackers and now 2 starting linemen from last year's squad. For the majority, if not all of the season, tough road ahead possibly for the Niners D. Derek Carr to start the opener for the Oakland Raiders. He sure looked good against Houston, didn't he? Good, tried great. 3 touchdowns and 4 drives against the Seattle Seahawks. Head coach Dennis Allen said just 5 days ago Matt Schaub is the guy, but now seems unsure. Schaub has a sore elbow, and Carr looked fantastic here. 2 things to note, though, people. Carr, rookie. Also, lots of guys have looked great in the preseason, and yes, I know Richard Sherman was on the field for at least one of those touchdowns, but 2 words Niners fans will know from last year's preseason. Quincy Patton. For the rest of you saying, who's Quincy Patton? Exactly. Coach Allen will name his quarterback Monday. Tony Stewart returned to the track, and with a heavy heart apparently, qualified 12th for this weekend's race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hit and killed 20-year-old Kevin Ward at an upstate New York dirt track 3 weeks ago. Ward appeared to be trying to confront Stewart after the 2 cars had tangled and Ward wrecked. Stewart says the accident will affect him forever, but would not take questions after reading a written statement to media. NASCAR instituted rules prohibiting drivers from walking on the track after a crash. NASCAR says it ran tests on Stewart to make sure he was fit to race, but would not say what the tests were. Change of plans in Sacramento for the big UFC fight tomorrow night at Sleep Train Arena. The T.J. Dillashaw Renan Barrow Bantamweight Championship fight is now the T.J. Dillashaw Joe Soto Championship fight. We are told Barrow could not make weight and passed out trying. UFC said, no way you're fighting. Soto was on the undercard and will step in without apologies.
You know, it's hard to even, it's crazy. It's crazy. It never happened. It never happened.
Dillashaw won the belt 3 months ago by beating Brennan Barrow. High school football is upon us, praise be, and we'll have the full rundown of regional games during tonight's final quarter show. Until then, a little taste, and where better to taste stuff than Stockton. That's where Grandma lived. Del Campo at Edison, and Edison starting off strongly defensively. Here's Edison's Teonte Bell with the interception. Doesn't get much easier than that. Down the right side he goes, 40-yard return. Edison in business. Great field position, takes them to the 2-yard line, and then hey, wait a minute. What's that thing I'm supposed to be holding under my arm? That's a ball, and that's a fumble. Trayvon Wilson has it. Number 8 goes 98. What a change in momentum. Del Campo up early. Second half this time. Del Campo's offense doing the damage. Number 4, Ron Braylon White rolls into the end zone. Don't call me, Betty. That's 6 more on the board. Del Campo would add the 2-point conversion. Isaac Cisneros right about here. Del Campo starts off the season right, 36-13. Edison, well, they'll need a couple of light bulbs to turn on for their season. There's a whole lot more where that came from. Check out tonight's final quarter show. We'll be back in a moment.
What was supposed to be the last shot at showing the Maloofs an arena can be built in Sacramento has turned into no shot. Bob Moffitt live at the downtown rail yards with how the Maloofs' recent activity has now delayed the feasibility study that might have helped keep the Kings here, Bob.
You know, for a bunch of guys that profess to want a new arena in Sacramento, these guys seem to have done just about everything you can do to screw it up. And that includes the recent extension of the deadline to move the Kings to Anaheim. The Maloofs have until April 18th to file paperwork with the NBA. A spokesman for David Taylor of the Icon Taylor Group this afternoon says the group will now delay putting together its feasibility study for a new sports and entertainment complex in the rail yards until they know if the Maloofs are pulling the Kings out of town. Icon Taylor wasn't due to deliver its findings until May, but now it appears certain that the Maloofs will make their decisions solely on their negotiations with the city of Anaheim, and that there will be no last arena proposal to entice them to stay. Local business leaders have already begun to pitch the arena without the Kings.
Of course, we hope that they stay in Sacramento, but regardless of whether they stay or go, we still need to get this entertainment complex built.
So how might this effort to bring an arena to Sacramento be different from previous efforts? Well, for starters, the Icon Group is involved, and they've built 16 arenas nationwide. Also, there's more of a push to make this a regional effort instead of just a Sacramento effort. And finally, if there is a ballot measure and the Kings are gone, Joe Maloof will be gone too, and he won't be around to firebomb it like he was the last time there was a measure on the ballot. Though this is more bad news and bad timing where the Maloofs are concerned, it is not a death knell for a new arena. Supporters can look east to the city that has built a new sports and entertainment complex without a basketball team. How ironic it is that it is Kansas City, the city that lost the Kings to Sacramento. As for the move itself, the Maloofs, of course, have not made the decision or made it public. And if they decide to go, they still need a majority of NBA owners to support them. How interesting would it be if the Lakers, the Kings' longtime nemesis, if their owner Jerry Buss was the one who led the charge to keep the Kings from moving south, and which would help the Kings stay in Sacramento?
Yeah, a lot of people hoping for that. Thank you, Bob.
Joe Davidson from the Sacramento Bee, and that's the game that he will write about in your Bee tomorrow morning. I'm almost afraid of this.
I don't. What is going on?
Bob Moffitt was at that game.
This is a serious football show,
so
Bob.
We have highlights and
and the cat in the hat. I don't even understand here.
It's Halloween. What's wrong with
On Monday?
Yeah, on Monday, but we're not playing football on Monday. We're playing it on Friday. And where I grew up, in the Mariposa down south, whenever we got to dress up before Halloween, we did it. So,
all right.
Cat in the hat is where it's at. That's right. And I got to practice for Monday night when I take my 6-year-old, out trick-or-treating. Hey, let's go to the game, shall we? Honest to goodness, I don't know how this happened. Yeah, senior night for Pleasant Grove. Arik Armstead back from a recruiting visit to Texas, Alabama, and Notre Dame also interested. Made his presence felt early. Wouldn't want to be on the bottom of that pile. Pleasant Grove scored first. Mark Jenkins, he's fast, but look at the blocking.
Again, Armstead involved on the offensive end. Jenkins, 34 yards for the touchdown, 7-zip. Pleasant Grove, they'd get the ball back in short order. Who says they can't throw? Cody Demps goes up top to DJ Jen, 14-0 Pleasant Grove. Bulldogs, though, would come back. Tanner Trozine to Kyle Hampton for the short TD pass. They were down 14, though, in the first half. They would end up losing 48-34. Pleasant Grove, the real deal for sure, 4-0 in conference. Let's go over to Davis at Elk Grove. Homecoming.
Did you like the first Cat in the Hat or when Cat in the Hat came back?
Yeah, I totally like the first one better. Tommy Arnold likes throwing to Blake McTaggart, 60-yard pass play for the Herd. That was as easy as it looked. Wadis Parker, though, had to do some hard work later. 6 yards for the score. In, out, bang, boom, spin, finally dive. 21-zip. Elk Grove up early. Davis would come back. Shane Reagan to Grant Dickerson for the score. Then Reagan again, this time to C.K. Hicks. Too much thundering Herd, though. 35-18 your final. You know, I was almost the only guy dressed up for Halloween, except for this guy, Nick Odessa. He was Peter Pan. You know, I got to be honest, I thought he was Robin Hood, but whatever. What's up with these gloves? It looks like I have a splint, but anyway. Big night. Big night, though, for Pleasant Grove, and big night for the Cat in the Hat.
Yes.
Bob Moffitt in the sports office. Cosumnes Oaks.